Between the 7th of September 1940 and the 10th of May 1941, Britain and Northern Ireland were subjected to one of the worst airstrikes ever known. This relentless and unyielding attack became known as the Blitz.
There was the time when all the firebombs were dropping, and I was in my house at the time, and I could see the glare through the window from my bathroom, and that was the day when St Paul's was being surrounded by the firebombs, and the whole of London seemed to be in a glowing mass of fire. And amazingly, that was the day when St Paul's was not hit. It was a miracle. The Blitz itself, there were so many aspects of it.
During the bombings, many people had sought refuge in the London Underground. They were not there, however, to avoid the occasional bombing raid. With their homes destroyed, they had no choice but to remain there. When the authorities learned of this, they assisted as best they could by providing metal bunk beds to ease the ordeal.
They had to live down there, so they had to cook, and they'd got little stoves, like camping stoves, and they were all cooking varying things. And some of the children, the ones they hadn't evacuated, were down there, and their faces were almost yellow because they'd not been out in the open air. And this really did bother me. I noticed these children's faces. They were little old men's faces then. I was only passing by, and sometimes I would have to get out of a train and change to another one. And as you were standing on the station, you could hear the usual Cockney humour, yelling to each other from one family to another, pulling each other's legs. And one day I was down there when they were all singing, and they were singing the old songs that everybody had been singing at that time. Roll Out the Barrel was my favourite one. I heard that quite often. That was usually the evening people. I think they'd been drinking a bit then when that one came out. It was London facing up to what they had to face up to, and their wonderful spirit coming up, and their sense of humour. Every day and every night, this sound, this aircraft sound, and you knew it was a German bomber because it sounded completely different from our own aircraft, which of course were mostly fighter engines. And then in the daytime, we would look up in the sky and see the dogfights. Even when I was away from London, evacuated, we were only a little way out of London, and we could see the dogfights, and we'd see an aircraft fall. And the funny thing is, you thought of it almost not quite like a game, but you didn't really think, when you saw the German bomber fall, you didn't think of the people inside it. No, certainly you didn't. You just thought, good, we won that one.